Hi, and welcome to Grammar Lesson 4, in which we'll talk about helping verbs and verb phrases. Before we begin, let's have a quick review. Here's a simple sentence. Flowers bloom. We need to annotate this sentence, so the first thing we ask ourselves is what's happening in this sentence? Bloom. Bloom is the action that's happening in this sentence, so bloom is the verb. We underline a verb twice to annotate a verb, and then we write the kind of verb it is in a circle directly over the verb. The only verb we learned in lesson 1 through 3 is the intransitive complete verb, so this must be an intransitive complete verb, I see. The second thing we ask ourselves is who or what is doing the verb. In this case, flowers are doing the blooming, so flowers is the subject of the sentence. We annotate subjects by underlining them once, and that's it. So let's head into today's lesson. Today, we're going to learn about a second kind of verb, helping verbs. The most important rule about helping verbs is that helping verbs are never alone. They are always with a main verb. More about that in a moment. There are exactly 24 helping verbs in the English language, no more, no less. And here they are, all the helping verbs, all 24 helping verbs. Be, am, is, are, was, were, been, being, have, has, had, could, should, would, may, might, must, shall, can, will, do, did, does, and having. You may have been required to memorize the helping verbs in the little school. If you did, you're ahead of the game today. The more you have these 24 words committed to memory, the easier using them in your writing will be. Remember, helping verbs are never alone. Helping verbs support the main verb by adding detail. A helping verb can change the tense of a verb. Without a helping verb, we say, Bob cries. With helping verbs, we can say, Bob is crying. Like right now, he's crying. Or we can say, Bob was crying. Like yesterday, he was crying. Or Bob will cry tomorrow. Helping verbs can also change a tense from active to passive voice. We can say, Bob shot a deer, or we can say, a deer was shot by Bob. The first sentence is in active voice. It's a much stronger sentence. The second sentence is in passive voice. Something happened to the deer, and oh, by the way, Bob did it. Helping verbs can also change the mood of a sentence. If we say, Bob should stop, that's a very different emotion than if we say, Bob must stop. And finally, helping verbs affect the possibility of a verb. For example, if I say, Bob might give me money, the likelihood of that happening is questionable. He might or he might not. But if I say, Bob will give me money, the likelihood is definite. I will be getting money from Bob, which is a good thing. Okay, remember that I said helping verbs are never alone. Well, here's where that comes into play. Helping verbs are always joined with main verbs to create a verb phrase. Let's look at how that works. A phrase is what we call two or more words that work together to do one job. So a verb phrase is two or more verbs working together to work as one verb. Let's take a look at some examples. Snow may fall. What's happening in this sentence? Fall. That's the main action. So that's our intransitive complete verb. We also have a helping verb here that affects the possibility of snow falling. May is a helping verb. We annotate helping verbs by underlining them twice because they are verbs and writing HV in a circle directly above the verb to indicate that it is a helping verb. Who or what is doing the verb? Snow. Snow is doing the falling, so snow is the subject of this sentence. Snow may fall. Let's look at the next one. She will go. Same kind of thing. What is happening in this sentence? Go. That's the intransitive complete verb. Will is the helping verb that tells me the going will happen in the future. Who or what will go? She. That's the subject of the sentence. She will go. Now we're right back to Bob. Bob must run. What is happening in this sentence? Run. That's our main verb, and it's an intransitive complete verb. Must is a helping verb. It gives the sentence heightened emotion. Who or what is doing the verb? Bob. That's our subject. Bob must run. A sentence can have more than one helping verb. In this sentence, Legos will be lost. There are two helping verbs. What's happening in the sentence? Lost. That's our main intransitive complete verb. Will and be are both helping verbs that tell us this thing will happen in the future. Who or what will be lost? Legos. Legos is the subject of the sentence. One more. This one has three helping verbs. He would have been sleeping. What is happening in the sentence? Sleeping. That's the action. So that's the intransitive complete verb. Would, have, and been are all helping verbs. That they work together to give this sentence a sense of possibility. He would have been sleeping, but it was too noisy outside, or whatever. Helping verbs. Who would have been sleeping? He. He is the subject of this sentence. And that's it, where helping verbs are concerned. Please take this advice. Learn the 24 helping verbs. You will see them over and over again in the next 20-something grammar lessons, and you will need to use them properly in your writing for the rest of your life. If you don't take the time to learn them and learn how to use them, you will be making errors which will affect your grade now and your ability to write effectively for the rest of your life. Okay, that's it. Way to go.